وزیراعظم نواز شریف ون بیلٹ ون روڈ فورم سے خطاب کر رہے ہیں.
Development of China, this is something that the people of the city can always be proud of. I would also like to avail this opportunity to thank my hosts for organizing this forum and all of you who are here today for participating in this event and giving me and my team a chance to interact with you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure many of you know about Pakistan in fair detail, but I would like to share with you some aspects that I consider important. Pakistan is located in a region of the world which is as important geo-economically as it is geostrategically, and which lies not only at the crossroads of history, but also at the crossroads of the future. It is true that global rivalries playing out in our region have left deep scars. It is true that no other country has suffered from terrorism more than Pakistan, and it is also true that even today we face many challenges. But ladies and gentlemen, today's Pakistan is full of confidence, hope and vigor. Today I present to you a rising and aspiring Pakistan, a Pakistan that is now increasingly seen as a turnaround story and a winner. The tide has turned and we have unfurled the sails. We are now an emerging economy with even greater capacity to absorb new investments and equities. We first set out to improve our macroeconomic outlook and sustain our efforts in spite of unfavorable global economic conditions. From a mere 3% rate of growth in the GDP before 2013, we are now on course to achieve a growth rate of well over 5% during the current year, which is estimated to rise up to 7% during the next 2 years. And ladies and gentlemen, in the last 3.5 years or so, we initiated much needed reforms that aimed at sustainable and inclusive economic development and good governance, including financial discipline. We recognize the importance of laying strong economic foundations that foster skills and capabilities, entrepreneurship, technology, energy, modern infrastructure, and a thriving investment climate. These reforms were multifaceted. We reduced bank interest rates, eliminated tax exemptions to provide a level playing field, strengthened our tax administration, rationalized non-targeted subsidies, and widened our social safety nets. We also introduced several new programs to provide our enterprising youth much needed funds for investment. These steps reinforced our broader macroeconomic policies and led to lower budget deficits, increased foreign exchange reserves, and reduced spending on energy subsidies. Most impressively, the value of our Karachi Stock Exchange stock market index has tripled in less than 4 years. In the same way, international economic agencies are upgrading ratings of the financial and economic stability of Pakistan. The World Bank forecasts a GDP growth rate of 5.2% for the current year. Standard & Poor has also upgraded its outlook and expects Pakistan debt to fall below 60% of the GDP by 2018, improving Pakistan's long-term credit rating to B. Ladies and gentlemen, our government realizes that focusing only on growth is not enough. It is imperative to sustain the growth momentum while pursuing a high growth trajectory. And this cannot be done without ensuring the equitable distribution of the fruits of growth. For this purpose, our government has launched a series of pro-poor initiatives in health, education and social protection. With a universally recognized database of the most disadvantaged people in our country, we are targeting our programs at the poorest of the poor. In the same way, our government realizes the fact that nations can only rise when they ascribe to a shared vision of their people for prosperity and development. I am glad to note that we were able to identify common aspirations of the Pakistani nation in the form of Pakistan's Vision 2025, which provides a comprehensive strategy for achieving sustainable growth. It maps Pakistan to join the top 25 economies of the world, leading to upper middle income country status by 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, the consumer market in Pakistan is growing at a very fast pace. The demand for automobiles, housing and electronics is thriving and providing considerable returns to the corporate sector. The service industry, particularly telecommunications, hospitality and online retail, are fast growing into attractive areas for investment. Pakistan is emerging as an expanding market for international products. With a fast-growing middle class, increasing urbanization, growing popularity of international food products, and a rising number of international brands, Pakistan is poised to become a major destination for international businesses. Our government has devised a comprehensive plan to create an investment-friendly environment. We have liberalized investment policies to welcome foreign direct investment. We offer incentives to attract new capital inflows, including tax exemptions, tariff reductions, infrastructure and investment and investor facilitation services. Our investment policy focuses on reducing the cost of doing business in Pakistan, improving the ease of doing business, and creation of industrial clusters and special economic zones. All this is protected by legislation. I am happy to share with you that yesterday we signed an MOU with the Alibaba Group in Hangzhou for the establishment of an e-platform in Pakistan. Among many other linkages, the enhanced market access provided by this e-platform to Pakistani products all around the world means a more attractive environment for the potential investors among you. Ladies and gentlemen, in the energy sector, a liberal and transparent policy is in place for investors. Government provides necessary support infrastructure with water, power evacuation, and access to locations of power generation projects. Apart from thermal power, Pakistan also carries a huge hydropower potential for almost 100,000 megawatts. Basic investment in land acquisition and social overhead capital for some of these projects has already been made, and an early start cutting down on the period of non-productive investment has been made possible. Pakistan's telecommunications industry holds tremendous potential for growth. For growth, investment and development, Pakistan has just passed through first phase of the telecom revolution. Emerging technologies coupled with a transparent and liberal licensing policy provides a good launching pad for more investments in this sector. Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan possesses huge potential to become a manufacturing and exporting hub of the auto industry for renowned original equipment manufacturers of the world. Local automobile companies and the auto part vendors have attained excellence in some fields and are at par with global standards. There is room for vendors to scale up their production with cutting-edge technology and emerging trends in the international automobile market. Pakistan is the fourth largest milk-producing country in the world, with significant potential for setting up processing units for local consumption and exports. Pakistan also has the third largest livestock population, and our meat demand is growing at 6% per annum. Ladies and gentlemen, we've eliminated minimum initial capital investment requirements for all sectors. There is no minimum requirement for the amount of foreign equity, investment or upper limit on the share of foreign equity allowed except in the airline, banking, agriculture and media sectors. Foreign investors in the service sectors may retain 100% equity, and foreign companies are allowed to repatriate 100% profits. In the social and infrastructure sectors, 100% ownership, foreign ownership is allowed. The raw materials, plants and machinery for agriculture and agro-based industries can be imported without customs duty. There is no restriction on payment of royalty and technical fee. The tourism, housing, construction and information technology has been granted industry status, which makes them eligible for lower tax and utility rates. Similarly, tourism services such as airlines, hotels, resorts and road transportation provide unique business avenues for investors. Let me also draw, ladies and gentlemen, your attention to Pakistan's strategic location on Asia's premier trade, energy and transport corridor. Pakistan is in fact the gateway to the energy-rich Central Asian states, the oil-rich and financially liquid Gulf states, and the economically advanced Far Eastern economies. As I noted in my concluding comments at the Belt and Road Forum in Beijing, the One Belt, One Road is inspired by President Xi's revolutionary vision of shared and connected prosperity for all. It is an intercontinental mega project that integrates infrastructure, energy, trade, telecommunications, investment and industrial development. Such a broad sweep and scale of interlocking economic partnerships and investments is unprecedented in history. We stand at the cusp of a geo-economic revolution which will produce win-win outcomes for all. In fact, this is the dawn of a truly new era of synergetic intercontinental cooperation. And the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, ladies and gentlemen, is a core component of OBOR, One Belt, One Road, designed to achieve connected and shared prosperity, not just for the nations of our region, but also for those that are much beyond. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor will shorten transportation distances, bringing Africa and Middle East much closer to the Central and South Asian regions. It will link the port of Gwadar with the land of Kashgar, and it will not only connect Pakistan with China, but will also provide connectivity to the entire Central Asian region and even Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, today two main trends appear to be competing in the global economy. On the one hand, there is advocacy for protectionism, and on the other, there are increasing calls for greater economic collaboration for sustainable development. As is evident from our complete commitment to CPEC, which means China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, Pakistan strongly favors cooperation and synergetic partnerships across regions for inclusive socio-economic development and human prosperity. I take this opportunity to emphasize that we must raise our voice against the surge of negative publicity, of mutually beneficial collaboration and interdependence by misguided believers of nationalism and protectionism. My vision has always been the political empowerment of the people through their economic empowerment, and I will do all that it takes to realize it. Ladies and gentlemen, what we need today more than ever is the free movement of goods and investments. In this regard, China is playing an exemplary leading role across the globe, and all of you here today are commercial ambassadors of your country and will implement your government's policy with increased trade and investment around the world, especially in the Belt and Road countries. This is a way for your companies to grow and become the world's best and to create opportunities for people wherever you go. We are building 9 CPEC special economic zones where your companies can come and invest in refineries, factories, warehouses, logistics centers, and much more. We would like to encourage those companies and can come and make products to sell in the Pakistani market, as well as those companies that wish to use our ample natural and human resources to export their products out of Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude by saying that Pakistan, with its 6th largest population in the world, a middle class of 80 million people, rich human and natural resources, strategic location, political stability, and attractive investment policies, is a destination no global player can afford to miss. Pakistan is set on track for rapid, inclusive, and sustainable growth. I invite you to take benefit from the economic revival of Pakistan and enjoy the first mover's advantage. Pakistan is ready to do business with the world. I thank you all.
ہانگ کانگ میں وزیر اعظم نواز شریف فورم سے خطاب کر رہے تھے. ان کا کہنا تھا کہ پاکستانی معیشت میں اصلاحات لانے کے لیے متعدد اقدامات کیے. بجٹ خسارے میں کمی اور زر مبادلہ کے ذخائر میں بھی اضافہ ہوا. ان کا مزید کہنا تھا کہ پاکستان کی سٹاک مارکیٹ کا شمار دنیا کی بڑی مارکیٹس میں ہوتا ہے. پاکستان میں ترقی کی رفتار کو برقرار رکھنا ضروری ہے. عالمی اداروں نے پاکستان کی کریڈٹ ریٹنگ میں اضافہ کیا. انہوں نے مزید کہا کہ پاکستان توانائی کے منصوبوں پر تیزی سے کام کر رہا ہے اور پائیداری کے باعث اس کا شمار 25 بہترین معیشتوں میں ہوگا. انہوں نے کہا کہ پاکستان میں خدمات کا شعبہ تیزی سے ترقی کر رہا ہے.